Lost Cause Ranch, we are back with the 1967 Nada 109, the old Series 2A. And we left you hanging with a stuck engine. Today, you get to see how we resolve it. No. So Ted just went through and cleaned up more of the cylinders. He made a mess, not quite a Joe mess, but there's a mess. A lot of them look pretty decent yet. This one is a little rusty yet, but he got all the crud from around like the ring area, or on the edge of the piston, I should say, out of there. So hopefully the next round of soaking can penetrate a little bit further. You gotta have deep penetration. But we're gonna mix up some acetone and transmission fluid. We use that quite a bit for rusty bolts and whatnot, so we'll give that a shot. This stuff creeps pretty well in our experiences, soaks in quite a bit faster than, say, PB Blaster or anything like that. So you can see right here, this is how well it's going so far. We got the old snap-on, which decided to snap off. So, still has not budged yet. We're gonna put the 3/4 inch breaker bar on it once. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere on this route, so oil pan gonna come off. I think we're gonna make a mess again. Oh. So the cylinder walls are actually starting to look fairly decent, and even this one, which is the worst out of them that we can see, is starting to get a little shine back to it. So we have a crankshaft. That's good news. Nothing blaringly wrong at this point. It does have like the coolest pickup screen I've ever seen. So we're gonna pull the rod ends off here, but first we're gonna score the side of them so we can keep the orientation correct when it goes back together. Because it is gonna run again, so we gotta make sure of that.
Score is such a nasty word. I would say mark.
Ted prefers mark. But these guys are all numbered, which is kind of cool. That's number 6 there. Before 6 is 5. So far, all the bearing surfaces look to be in pretty good shape. So I think we're good on that front. I don't think that is the issue. So right there is why Ted didn't want to go too heavy on cranking on the engine to try and turn it over. That's not a very long thread. Would have been easy to either strip the crank out or break this, and that would have been a world of trouble compared to where we're already in. So we got the old split seal out of the rear there. Journals here look nice, no scoring anywhere. That is good news. And we have our pieces somewhat organized over here. So now we're gonna flip this guy over and beat the pistons. It's gonna require force. So we're gonna start trying to pound these guys out. Got a couple hammers, gonna use the rubber end of this one on the piston so we don't damage stuff. Well, cylinder 1, got a little action. So that one moved, let's I guess keep moving down the line and see what we got going on. See if we can get anywhere. I don't know. Hopefully. All right, so hammer only worked on cylinder 1. Moving towards next level. Cut a little square of wood that fits down in there. we're gonna use the old air hammer. And hopefully a little rattle will shake these guys loose. We'll see. Block of wood so we can try and save the pistons. I don't wanna like purposely damage them. We're going least aggressive to most aggressive for now. Well, that worked well. Piece of aluminum is the trick. We got that guy moving. We'll hit the rest of them. We're forging some aluminum here. We're down just to this one that has not moved yet. All right, you can see in there where we got it to move to. This one, which was the rustiest one, has not budged yet. That guy moved, that guy moved, that guy moved. And look at what we did to the aluminum chunk that we're using as like a sacrificial piece so we didn't damage the top of the pistons. Pretty stout air hammer. I think the stuff was pretty stuck. I don't think there was a whole lot of hope in us getting it unstuck via the bar. That's for sure. So spray it some more. We might try and hammer up on the one that's stuck. See if we can get it to rattle loose. But the rest of them we should be able to get out for sure. I mean, we'll get this one out one way or the other. Just don't know how the other way is. So next step in our process, we're gonna scrape all the rough edges that built up rust there on all the cylinders. And then we'll probably give it another soaking overnight. Got these guys loaded up with ATF and acetone again. Number 5 though, we have some brake fluid in there. Had someone stop in and they're well versed in getting seized engines unstuck by a lot of junk. I said try brake fluid. I'm always up for trying anything, so we shall see in the morning. I'll catch. Oh, one more tap. We got our first one out. Sasha looks all naked without her cone and donut. What do you think of this? All this banging's putting Sasha to sleep. First casualty. Kinda expected that getting to be the way this was starting to go, but it's out.
Hoping for better.
Hoping for better, knowing we're getting worse, something like that. Here is the one that is super stuck, so this ought to be interesting. That's impressive, she's sleeping. Arm getting a little tired. A little bit. I can do baby hits if you want. Union break time. Some idiot pounded this one too far and popped the one ring out of the bottom of the bore. I'm the idiot. I was really hoping to reuse the rings. Not quite sure that's going to happen anymore. I mean, theoretically, this one should roll right out then because it doesn't have rings. So there's number 1, sans the oil control rings. So now we're down to number 5. Number 5 has been the issue all along. It's moving though. Well, he's going after breaking the bottom of the piston apart and getting the wrist pin out of there so he can have the rod out of the way. Hey, that's out of the way. First time for everything, I guess. So that's what we're working with now. We have connecting rod out of the way, and now just a piston. That is the last one. Progress. Good progress, bad progress, not quite sure yet, but we'll be somewhere shortly.
Did we have another one do this?
Yes. And she's out. And now it's out.
Nope, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. Now it's out. Unfortunately, I believe this is gonna need more than just a ring job, possibly. The hammer handle didn't make it through. So here is the remnants of that number 5 piston, all cleaned up. She's chooched, definitely. May need a new one. I don't think it's gonna hold compression. But here's our carnage for getting the 2.6 unstuck. I don't know if any of you follow Jesse James, but these kind of look like his little keychains they make. Maybe I should sell them. If you're enjoying this, make sure to smash the like button like we smashed this piston. But on this whole deal, we went least invasive, least aggressive to most aggressive. Obviously, you see by the way we broke the snap-on breaker bar and everything to get the piston out and how hard Ted was hammering on it and the air hammer and this, that, and the other thing. This was probably about the only option, and this was the likely outcome to it. But before we went to that extent of possibly breaking the piston, we made sure there was some out there, and there is, in both standard and oversize. But our main concern was to save the rods and the cylinder bore without messing it up too much. What we're gonna do now is take the old stone hone and run it down the cylinders and see what they look like cleaned up. If we knock that rust off, if it is ridged up, and then we'll know whether we're gonna go standard or oversized on this guy. I mean, if they clean up, we might get lucky and just kind of slap this guy back together. Kind of seems a little hacky, but we're trying to get number 59 over there done as minimalist as possible, I guess. Not full bore restoration just yet, just want to get her driving. So after a quick swipe with the hone, just to clean them up, it looks kind of promising there. Up top here is just the little ring wedge. You can't really feel it, but you visibly can see it a little more, but that's the top where the ring ran. Everything else looks pretty clean. Would need just a touch more dial in on that. We got a slight little divot that you can just barely catch with your fingernail there. And number 5 will actually clean up pretty nice. It's got a little bit more to go, but it's not rough to the touch. So that's kind of promising to where we could probably get away with standard size pistons on it. So the only real thing that's leaning me towards the standard size piston with the hone job is we lost our machine shop in town. He retired. It's who we used for everything. It's who we trusted. With that, I think we'd probably have to ship that guy off. And tell you the truth, I'm not really interested in that. I mean, it is what it is. It's only worth so much. I don't feel like investing $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 into keeping the 2.6 going on this particular one. But if we can get her like 95% of the way there with the hone and some new fresh rings, I think that's the ticket. And that's gonna be the quickest route to get number 59 back on the road. And with the just released 8.5% inflation, the most economical. That's good too. So with the removal of that number 5 piston, it was looking pretty grim there for a little bit, but I think we are going to be able to save this. This 2.6 liter will be running in number 59 at some point. And with the power of YouTube, we've had a few people reach out to us that are able to help us source some of the bits. Being it's a 2.6 liter Land Rover engine, it's a little bit rare. We're gonna need some pistons. We need an exhaust manifold. And on top of that, this is one of the North American spec left-hand drive ones that use the high performance Westlake head, which makes it even more difficult to find parts. Appreciate you guys watching. As always, number 59, gonna be on the road in the near future, maybe in a town near you. I think road trip.